Breaking news in the NFL today that's sure to shake up the league. Trevor Lawrence, the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise quarterback, has been traded to the Dallas Cowboys in what can only be described as one of the most shocking moves in recent NFL history. If you're a Cowboys fan, or even an NFL fan in general, you know this news is huge. Trevor Lawrence, one of the brightest and most talented quarterbacks in the NFL, heading to the Dallas Cowboys, has implications that go far beyond just the Cowboys themselves. This trade represents the next chapter in the Dallas Cowboys' quest to reclaim their Super Bowl glory and solidify their place as one of the top teams in the NFL. But let's break down why this trade is such a monumental event, how it happened, and what it means for both teams involved. First, let's look at Trevor Lawrence's journey up to this point. Trevor Lawrence has been nothing short of spectacular since entering the NFL as the No. 1 overall pick in the 2021 draft. From his days at Clemson, where he was widely regarded as the next great quarterback prospect, Lawrence was always seen as a future superstar. His combination of arm strength, mobility, and leadership has made him one of the most coveted players in the league. His early years with the Jacksonville Jaguars were marked by struggles, as the team underwent a rebuilding phase under head coach Urban Meyer, and Lawrence had to deal with the growing pains of learning the NFL game. But once Doug Peterson took over as the head coach, things started to click for Lawrence. In his second season, he showed why he was drafted first overall, helping lead the Jaguars to the playoffs for the first time since 2017. His performances, including his incredible comeback victory in the playoffs against the Chargers, where he threw 4 touchdowns after throwing 4 interceptions in the first half, made it clear that Lawrence had arrived. He was no longer just the hopeful future of the Jaguars, he was the face of the franchise. With a top-tier quarterback like Lawrence, the Jaguars seemed ready to take the next step in their rebuild and compete for the AFC South title and beyond. But, just when it seemed like the Jaguars had finally found their quarterback for the future, the Dallas Cowboys swooped in with an offer that the Jaguars could not refuse. The Dallas Cowboys, despite having a solid quarterback in Dak Prescott, have been in search of a true championship-winning team for the better part of the last 2 decades. Their team is stacked with talent, from an elite defense led by Micah Parsons to a potent offense with weapons like CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard, and a solid offensive line. The one thing missing, however, was the stability at the quarterback position. Dak Prescott, while talented and often a leader for the Cowboys, has not been able to lead the team to a Super Bowl win. Despite multiple playoff appearances, the Cowboys have continuously fallen short. This led to questions about Dak's ability to get the Cowboys over the hump, especially with an aging roster and the increasing pressure to win now. Enter Trevor Lawrence. The Cowboys front office, led by Jerry Jones, recognized an opportunity. Trevor Lawrence was a proven young quarterback with elite potential, and if they could land him, they would have the chance to build a Super Bowl contender for years to come. Reports suggest that the Cowboys' offer was nothing short of a blockbuster, including multiple first-round picks, some key defensive players, and substantial financial incentives to free up cap space for the Jaguars. Jerry Jones, never one to shy away from making bold moves, saw this as the chance to push all his chips into the middle of the table. For the Jaguars, it was a difficult decision to let go of Lawrence, but they were in a position to make this trade in order to secure the future of the franchise. They now have the chance to reload, restock, and rebuild with those precious first-round picks and the flexibility to make moves for their next quarterback, or perhaps continue building around their current young core. The Jaguars had to make the call. And what a call it was. Trevor Lawrence was the face of the Jaguars, and while it's hard to imagine them without him, the trade will be seen as a necessary sacrifice in the quest to build a stronger team in the long run. For the Cowboys, this move is a game-changer. The addition of Trevor Lawrence instantly transforms the team. Dak Prescott had been good, but he was never able to consistently perform at a championship level when it mattered most. Lawrence, on the other hand, brings a level of upside that the Cowboys have never had at quarterback. With his combination of size, athleticism, and arm strength, Lawrence has the potential to not only be one of the top quarterbacks in the league but to lead the Cowboys back to their first Super Bowl in nearly 30 years. But the big question on everyone's mind now is how quickly Trevor Lawrence can adapt to the Cowboys system. While the offensive weapons are certainly there in Dallas, there will be an adjustment period. He'll need to develop chemistry with his receivers, learn the nuances of the Cowboys playbook, and get used to the high expectations that come with playing for one of the most iconic franchises in all of sports. But given Lawrence's pedigree, both from his college days at Clemson and his performances with the Jaguars, there's no reason to believe that he won't succeed in this new environment. With the talent surrounding him, including a talented offensive line and a capable running game with Tony Pollard, the sky's the limit for Lawrence. The Cowboys' defense, meanwhile, has the potential to be one of the best in the league, and that's something that Lawrence will surely benefit from. With Micah Parsons, the reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year, leading a ferocious defense, the Cowboys will be able to rely on their defense to keep them in games, which will give Lawrence the opportunity to develop at his own pace without the added pressure of needing to score on every possession. Another interesting element to this trade is the impact it will have on the other quarterbacks in the NFC. The NFC is not as quarterback-loaded as the AFC, but it does feature some major names, like Aaron Rodgers, now with the New York Jets, Jalen Hurts of the Philadelphia Eagles, and the always dangerous Tom Brady, if he ever decides to come back. The arrival of Trevor Lawrence to the Cowboys instantly puts the team in the upper tier of NFC contenders, alongside the Eagles and 49ers. It's now a battle of the young quarterbacks in the NFC, with Lawrence facing off against Jalen Hurts for years to come in what could become one of the most thrilling rivalries in football. For the Jaguars, though, the pressure is on to find their next quarterback. This trade will likely define the next few seasons for the franchise. They need to use the draft capital they've acquired wisely and find a quarterback who can step in and guide the team to the playoffs. Perhaps they will look to develop a young QB through the draft or acquire an established veteran to keep the ship steady while the team continues to build. But one thing is certain, the Jaguars are in a full-on rebuild mode, and it's going to be a tough road ahead for them as they transition away from Trevor Lawrence and into the unknown. As for the Cowboys, there's a renewed sense of excitement and optimism in Dallas. Fans have longed for a Super Bowl win, and with Trevor Lawrence now leading the charge, it feels like the team has the missing piece they've been searching for. The big question is whether Lawrence can deliver under the bright lights of Dallas, with the pressure of the city and the fans on his shoulders. But if history tells us anything, it's that Trevor Lawrence thrives under pressure. This move has the potential to rewrite the NFL landscape for years to come. The Dallas Cowboys are now, without a doubt, one of the favorites to win the NFC and make a Super Bowl run. With Lawrence at the helm, they have a true franchise quarterback who can take them to the promised land. And while Jaguars fans will be sad to see Lawrence go, they can take solace in the fact that they have the opportunity to rebuild and perhaps come back stronger than ever. This is the NFL, and as we've seen time and time again, anything can happen. What we do know is that Trevor Lawrence to the Cowboys has set the stage for one of the most exciting chapters in the history of the league. So, what's next? For now, we wait and watch as this story unfolds. We'll be keeping you updated with every piece of news as it drops, so be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the latest updates. This is just the beginning, and the future of the Dallas Cowboys is looking brighter than ever. Let's go, Cowboys!